Hi, my name is Nate. Let's see, so this is the most difficult video to make. The reason being because I'm wanting to do a daily one, whether I get followers or not or whatever. But so this one is like the backstory, the history of me and why I need to do this, or want to do this rather. So, I'm an overweight man. That's just the truth of it. I am very overweight. At my peak and highest in September of 2017, I was 417 pounds. And that was the peak of it. That was when I decided I'd had enough. That was when I was at the height of my depression and just overall not feeling well. And so I went to my doctor thinking, he could give me a pill and help me feel better. But he said, no, you need to go see my friends over at Elevate Rehab and Fitness. So I was thinking, okay, well, what's there? And he's been doing what's called a ketogenic diet. A lot of you may be familiar with that. Also just known as keto. And, there's keto recipes and stuff on Facebook all over the place. And there's all sorts of keto stuff. And I didn't really know all that much about it at the time. And so he said, I've been doing it for 6 months. It essentially goes against a lot of things that we're taught about what's healthy to eat versus what's not healthy to eat. And he said that it doesn't make sense, but the numbers match up, the numbers work. The results are there. Proof is in the pudding, whatever you want to call it. So he said, you just need to go talk to him. And if you don't feel like it's for you and whatever, then we'll get you, on some medication. My A1C was at a 6.0. So I was pre-diabetic, should have been taking metformin. My testosterone was low, and I was on 3 different high blood pressure medications. And I was just depressed, and I told him I was depressed and I needed something. And he said, I really think that we can take care of this for you. So I went to Elevate and I talked to the guy there, and he told me all about a ketogenic diet. And he and this other guy at their particular facility, they researched it and researched what it, insulin dependent and what your body does with insulin and what it does, whatever. The most informative video I watched was insuliniq.com, and it's an 18-minute video, and it just kind of summed up a lot of how I felt about like dieting and things of that nature. Because in a whole, I didn't eat horrible or horrific. I wasn't, I wasn't overeating on all of the nasty, horrible, terrible things that a lot of people would stereotype an overweight man to do, and stuff like that. And so it was always kind of a mystery to me as to why I was so obese, when other people aren't, and you talk about metabolism and all that kind of stuff and everything, but it was still something that bugged me, that bothered. And anyway, it turns out, everybody's different, and I was very insulin resistant and stuff like that. Mine stems from a lifetime of being obese. I was the end of 5th grade when I was starting to really get big. I was always a bigger kid, thicker. Was never overweight when I was young. In fact, when I was very young, I was very average. And then as I started to get a little bit older in grade school and things like that, I started looking a little on the thicker side, a little bit more rounded in the face and stuff like that. Nothing that you would look at and see, oh, that kid's going to be a diabetic, obese man. If he's not careful. You see a lot of those nowadays, but that wasn't me. But it wasn't until 5th grade that started to happen. That didn't stop kids from being mean. I mean, I was teased and beat up almost every day because of my looks, Because I was a little thicker, I was called the fat kid, even though I wasn't really fat, not until 5th grade. So by 7th grade, I was over 150. 8th and 9th and 10th and so forth and so on. It just got worse, and by the time I graduated, I was tipping the scales at 300. I don't look like I weigh as much as I do, but I'm big everywhere. I have very big legs. I have very, and by big, I mean, like, not to toot my own horn here, but I have very strong legs. I could leg press over 900 pounds in high school and things like that. And so there's a lot of muscle weight to me, and that was, good and all, but I still have a big gut. I still looked very obese, even though I didn't look like I weighed as much as I do. Sorry. So I went away for 2 years, and those of you that are LDS know that serving an LDS mission, what that entails. I didn't really lose a whole lot, and I didn't necessarily gain a bunch. I just kind of maintained what I was. I came home, got married, started a family, got divorced, got remarried, all over the course of, however many years. And then here we ended up at 2017 in September, and I was at 417, and I was just done with life. Not in a suicidal way, but I was done with how I felt. I was done with being who I was, if that makes any sense. But so I started a ketogenic diet at the end of September. Me and my wife both did. And it was the best thing I could have ever done for myself. From the end of September, beginning of October, until January of 2018, so just in that short time there, I'd lost almost 60 pounds. My A1C went from a 6.0 to a 5.2, and my cholesterol dropped 50 points. Bad cholesterol went down, good cholesterol went up. And it was going great. But like anything else, you just kind of lose a little bit of your momentum, a little bit of the stamina. And so that's sort of what happened. And then we sold the condo that we were in at the time and moved to a house that we bought here in Provo, Utah. We moved from Pleasant Grove to Provo. Those of you that are familiar with Utah know that that's not a super long move. But, the process of packing and then moving and then unpacking and everything, it just took a while. And then we had lots of other things take place in the span of 3 months or so. And so here we are, middle of July, close to, actually the beginning of July, so let's be realistic here. Today is July 10th, 2018, officially. And I haven't completely gone off of keto because I really still feel really good about it and everything, but it's hard for me to stay maintained on it the way I should be for it to work for me. And so my wife and I, same for both of us. It's been a struggle. She's been more diligent than I have. But again, it's not like we go crazy. But here we are, beginning of July, and I'm just feeling like, okay, I need to recommit. And we recommitted, and then I'm still like hanging on the wagon, not falling off. But my foot's dragging on the road. And I just felt like I needed to do something more to make myself more accountable, more keep myself honest. So I'm turning to essentially like a journal entry, but I'm doing like a video log. And my thinking is that I can get my thoughts out there and get my what's been going on and everything. And then you guys can help keep me honest. Whether you say anything or not, I feel like I'm committing to myself and everyone else out there. It doesn't make any sense when I'm trying to say it out loud, but internally in here, in my brain, it makes sense. So, that's what this is all about. So that's the history. That's where I'm at. My weight hasn't really gone up at all since I've been sort of hovering in the keto range. I'm 358. So 217 to 358. So that's where I'm at, and I would like to be my end goal, what I think would be like stinking awesome if it's even possible, which I'd like to think it somewhat is, to be in the 250 range, because I know I'm a bigger guy. Just my build, my frame is bigger. I got the broad shoulders, and I know I have a lot of, again, not tooting my own horn here, but I have a lot of muscle. And I realize that some of that's going to go away as I lose weight, because I'm not going to have to keep carrying all the weight that I'm carrying. So naturally, some of the muscle might go away, and I'm okay with that to a point. So I think, just the baby step goals. I think what I need to is make a goal to get to a certain weight, and then I'll celebrate somehow, and then I'll get to another one and kind of baby step it. So with me being 358 right now, if I could get down to 330, that is my next goal. And if I can do that by, I don't know, I'm not sure what date to set for that. I mean, that's essentially 30 more pounds, which could come off very fast, could come slow, and so I don't want to be super discouraged. So if I put myself if I could be at 330 by the end of September, that might actually be very doable. Here it is, the beginning of July. I'd have July to August, August to September, so I'd have about 2.5 months. Anyway, if you're watching this and if you think that that's doable at all or whatever, put it in the comments. That'd be great. I'd love to hear some feedback. I mean, if not the next video I do, which will be tomorrow, I'll give you a little bit more input on where I'm at. Maybe I'll take some measurements or something. I don't know. We can really look at this. I will have my wife help me do like a profile picture, like stand up and everything and whatnot. But I really, because of the nature of this video, trying to give you all of the backstory, all of the history and everything, I just kind of wanted to make it just like a talking face-to-face sort of a thing. So that's where I'm at. My name is Nate. This is my keto journey and my journey to being a more healthy person, a more healthy dad, a more healthy husband. And that's it. So I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.